Okay, it is another Saturday game. My name's Jeff Bodine, and I am here with my friend Logan.
Hello.
Hey there. All right, and we are gonna play a 40K game, and we'll take a look at the mission. Okay, the mission is supply drop, and the deployment zone is tipping point. So, supply drop, you have two objectives in no man's land that get Alpha and Omega, and that gets rolled for at the end of the deployment. I'm picking up some extra dice here, and we determined that this objective here will be the Alpha, which gets picked up on turn 4, and then this one here is the Omega, which gets picked up at the beginning of turn 5. So the only one that will be there at the end of the game is this one right here in the middle. And that is it for that. Now, we've already deployed this time around, so we'll review the armies, but he won the role to choose attacker and defender and chose to be defender. So he deployed. He had a bunch of infiltrators and a whole bunch of deep strikers. So he wanted to go on ahead and put some presence out there on the board. So he chose to go first on deployment, and he picked this side and started deploying. And once we were done, he also won the role to go first. So we're about to get started with that. Once I kind of show the deployment, we'll go on to the first turn, but here's going to be deployment. Okay, for deployment, I'll go on ahead and start with my army, and this is a new one, so I will kind of explain everything. The first deployment that I had right here is the Tally Man, which is a guy that generates command points for me. He's sitting back here all by himself, kind of zoning out this corner. I had some infiltrators. These are poxwalkers, which are like plague zombies. They're pretty awesome. The models are insane and hideous. Then I have a big brick of Blight Lord Terminators, which are like shooting and melee mix, joined by a character that does a lot of rerolls for wounding and stuff. And right behind him is Mortarion, who's the Primarch of the deathguard. He's nasty. Right here on the inside of this wall, I have 3 of the Death Shroud Terminators, which are very melee focused. Then I have a unit of Spawn, which I use for my actions and stuff. And this giant thing is a Defiler, and it's got a mix of melee and combat, or melee and shooting. Then I have another unit of Poxwalkers over here in this building. Now my opponent's army, he's actually playing Imperial agents with a freaking Titan. So, oh yeah, and by the way, my army is deathguard, and I'm playing Chosen of Nurgle, or Chosen of Mortarion, which is the Terminator-centric one. I forgot to mention that, but so he's playing Imperial agents and has a ton of Void Fair.
That's the list. So we got there's normally Hereticus, Malleus, Xenos. That's the difference. If you're playing Inquisitorial, this one is actually Voidfarer, which is basically supposed to be the Rogue Trader one.
Okay.
I kind of play it as the theme as this Inquisitor called Inquisitor Drax because Mortarion showed up.
Yeah, okay.
And
So
Drax brought a Titan. So the big thing to remember here is all of the Voidfarers, there's an enhancement that made it so that they can deep strike.
Yeah, so all this stuff is in Deep Strike. I forgot to mention my Deep Strikers. I have 2 more units of Death Shroud in Deep Strike, each joined with a character. That's a Lord of Contagion, who's like a melee guy. And that's Typhus, who's good at melee, but also does a bunch of mortals. But yeah, so he's got 4 units, looks like. 3 units in Deep Strike here, a ton of dudes. And then this little guy. And then he's got, these guys are the RBDs, which is like the 40K cops. The models are amazing. They're normally kill team units that kind of ported over to 40K, but these look like the Mace and Shield variety, so they're melee centric. There's another unit up there that's got shotguns, so they're kind of gnarly shooters. This is an Inquisitor retinue. Yeah, and there's that fancy Inquisitor, great looking model. We got, Inquisitor Draxus back here, who's one of the characters. Obviously, this giant freaking Titan, which is pretty insane. And then I think, he's got an Assassin, which is awesome. That's the Eversor melee guy. So he'll be coming in to try to chew up my dudes. But yeah, so it's interesting. I've never faced these guys before, so who knows what'll happen. But it looks pretty awesome. So, okay, my opponent has first turn, so we're going to let him go, and then I'll do another video at the end, and we'll see where we're at. All right, thanks. Okay, we're done with Logan's first turn. Right now, well, first of all, let's look at his secondaries. He got area denial and secure no man's land. So area denial is if you have a unit in the center of the board, no enemies within 6 is 2, no enemies within 3 is 5. So that was a great draw for turn 1. That's basically a free 5 points. Then his second one was secure no man's land, which is another great one for turn 1, especially when you have an army full of infiltrators, which is exactly what he had. So he started out with this one completed. He could have passed and just gotten 5 points. So he posted up a nice little 10-point turn. Now, turn 1s are generally pretty quiet in 40K, so his Titan moved up, and the guy can just kind of stomp on buildings. So we just pulled the walls out for the moment, and he's standing right there. And we're doing all the measurements from the toes just for clarity. He's not got line of sight on anything yet, so we'll see how that all ends up. But he is moving into position, and this is going to get critical mass real soon. So, all right, so that's it for him. So right now, we're looking at 10-0 to him, and then I will have my turn, and we'll do another video. Thanks, guys. Okay, here we are at the end of my turn, round 1. I drew for my secondaries, marked for death and extend battle lines. And to the shock of no one, he picked the Titan for mark for death for one of them. The Inquisitor back here, who's come from Wisconsin. And then he picked his hardest melee unit that he had to pick somebody. Right there in the middle. And as you can tell, my guys are surrounding that area where they used to be. So obviously things did not work out. So I did achieve, and with extend battle lines, I have to hold my home objective and 1 no man's land objective in order to get the full load of 4. So I had already had that achieved with this and with this unit in there holding that objective. So I scored 9 points. So the end after turn 1 is 9 to 10. And I've got this unit in combat. I put a few wounds onto the Titan, but now he's going to start bringing in his reserves, and it will be interesting because there's plenty of board space for him to go just about anywhere. So we'll see what happens. All right, thanks. Here we are at the bottom of Logan's turn on turn 2. He drew overwhelming force and sabotage. I had a bunch of units on objectives, but he only really has this big guy as his primary activation, and he was unable to kill any of these tough Terminator units, and these dudes slipped the noose as well. So none of those got achieved. He didn't have enough units to do sabotage, and unfortunately he was kind of screened out of the terrain. He dropped down back here and tried to shoot at the spawn, but that was not really very successful. He put some heat into my defiler and did 6 wounds, but he's still upright. So that's it for him. And the turn right now, he got 5 points for the primary, so it's 15 to 9. All right, I'm going to do my turn, and then I'll do another video. Thanks. Okay, one more thing. He has an ability that's represented by this token here, where any enemy units that are on this objective have to take a battle shock test, and I did, and I failed it. So I had put myself in position to take this one away, but it did not happen because I failed the roll. So I'll only have that one over there for primary. And this guy's worth a ton of OC, and my Terminators are not really for OC purposes, so he's going to have that one as well. Okay, here we are at the end of round 2 after my turn. I drew for my secondaries overwhelming force and established locus, and was able to drop in my Terminators back here and get do established locus to get a 4 points for that one, and then on overwhelming force I have to kill units that are on objectives, and he had his marshals here, and then the big man, of course, which was on an objective, and these dudes finally dragged down the last of the marshals, and I killed the freaking Titan. So that one pops off for full score there for 5. And so now, and then for the primary for this turn, I had just the one down here to start because I failed that battle shock like we were talking about, and his unit strength here or his OC was so high that I did not have control of that
I
one.
didn't have to worry about the
So I only had one for the primary. So the total for this round for me was
because that was the
let's see,
How many do I have left?
Podunk Punk 5.
5. All right.
was
Your
23
majority-
to 15 for the end of this round.
I'm
I
still
think
just hitting the singles.
we're gonna probably button this one up after this. So we're gonna move on to a painting presentation because this is definitely a very fun painting army game here. So thanks everybody. And one more thing that I wanted to add in that was fun. When these guys came in back here, Typhus used his ability to zap that poor Inquisitor, but he rapid ingressed his assassin over there, and just for fun to see how it all worked out, the narrative role play of the assassin in this event is that he has been hunting Typhus for a while now and finally had his chance to make a move. So we brought him in and had him activate his main power, overdrive or whatever it is, maximum offense, and he ran up and took some shots into Typhus, which Typhus shrugged, and then he assaulted into him and did 4 out of 6 of his wounds. If it weren't for my invol, he would have popped. So the guys ended up clubbing the assassin to death and took him out. But it was close. Typhus was severely wounded. He's only got 2 wounds left. And we were hoping that he would explode and because he'll do D3 mortals and it would have taken him out. But alas, he did not. So that was the end for the assassin, but it was fun. So now we're going to stage armies and take a look at some paint. So thanks. Okay, we're going to do a paint presentation from this game. Now, this one is a real pleasure because we have ourselves a fully painted Warhound Titan. And I'm going to give you a view of the outside along with all of his other units and everything. And then we're going to crack open that cockpit and the crew quarters here. And you can see all the inside, which he has also fully painted. So let's get in here and let's look. Look at the scroll work there. That's amazing.
Please come off.
I don't know that I can win now. I'm gonna be
Oh,
honest.
look at that. Lovely. All right, so Venator and Fidelis. Okay.
Faithful Hunter.
Faithful Hunter. Cool. Look at that. Man, beautiful work. Beautiful work. Let's get a look at all these guns and everything.
That's gonna be.
That hull, amazing. Beautiful work. All right, let's pull the top off this bad boy. Look at the gun servitors. They're all fully painted. Look at that. Awesome. That guy. Look at that. There's the door and everything and all the purity seals. Look at that.
Yeah, with your setup.
Amazing.
we're good.
And then here's a cockpit. There's the
Your setup is
princeps.
like what, 4 inch or 3?
And then the driving servitors.
You got like.
Look at all the command consoles and everything. It's so awesome. All right. Man, what a great job. All right. So let's take a look at some of his other squads here. These guys are beautiful. These are the rogue traders and their entourage. Look at this cool model. Amazing. Very very strong Mardi Gras theme, which is fun.
Oh, I didn't see it. Okay.
Look at this assassin, the death cult assassin. Cool, and the Poxwalker head is very appropriate for the game. Little weird medic guy. Lovely. Then all the Navy men, these are Voidsmen.
Oh, wait, you didn't get a
So they're all the Navy guys that are part of the ship that the Rogue Trader is from. So look at all that, shotguns and combat axes and stuff. That's awesome.
They can't get in.
I want to shut this off.
Going back.
You rolled a 5.
Man,
Did all of their helmets gave them some glow,
that's cool.
so they all should look
they can't
like,
make
and
a
you
deal.
can see this
So I wouldn't
through
even
the
make a call.
shield.
So I don't declare.
Okay. That's
Oh yeah, I can see
I
his
didn't
goggles.
think
That's
about it
wild. Yeah,
until
that's
just now,
great.
my bad.
Yeah. So then we have the Arbites
Maybe,
here.
maybe you did think about it earlier, and that's why
Look at
you
these
didn't say
guys. Look at the decking and everything. That's cool.
Okay.
And then he's got a doggo. Look at that. Faithful Hound. Heck yeah. There's the Inquisitor, who is one of my favorites. I love that model. I gotta find a way to get one. I'm digging that dude. And then here's another unit of the Arbites here. There's the sergeant with the wings there on his helmet. then more of the Voidsmen, and then he had color coded them green versus orange, but it's a lot of the same models. But look at how cool she is. The Rogue Trader model is excellent. They're so neat. And then another assassin. Look at her.
All right.
Got another one of those heads. And it's a lot of the same models, but just different paint schemes. So very nice. I love the orange. And then here's a Inquisitor retinue. Look at those big chain swords. And and a guy that he wanted to show off. It is Nick Fury as a 40K guy. See the patch? Very nice. And so this is a really cool looking squad. There's the assassin who almost bagged Typhus.
Boom, we did it, gang.
Gnarly looking dude.
Those are 3 armor, right?
Oh,
He
this
is.
is full tip.
And let's see, there's Draxus. Let's take a look at him. He's got his orange dragon. Look at that. Look at the trim on the armor. It's very nice. Look at the eyes. Very good. Very good. All right. I think we saw it. Thank you, everybody. Okay, now we're going to do looking at the paint for my army. Here's my spawns. These guys, look at all the mouths on this dude, and this dude has 3 heads, and it's freakish, and he's got like a furnace in his belly, which is weird. Look at this.
4 wings.
Wild.
This T7.
Poxwalkers, these guys are freaks.
3
All sorts. They're horribly mutated.
Bruh.
2 units of them. There's another one back here.
That's fine.
The Terminators, they're also freakily mutated. Like that guy's a fly dude, which is weird. So, all these guys, very nice. My tally man, he's got an interesting message on there. What does that say? Oh my god. All right. My Death Shroud. Look at these freaks. All right. Then here's another Death Shroud unit with the Lord of Contagion.
Huh? No, you drove off with it.
All right. More of those. And then my Defiler / Plague Hulk right here. This guy's a real freak show. Look at the guts there and all the maggots. It's disgusting. So, rusted up weapons. Look at his eyeball. It's very nice. His ribs showing. Maggots crawling out of there. Pustules. And then like big cratering wounds on his back. There's more maggots. Always so charming. Rusted up weapons and legs and all sorts of stuff.
They do?
Nasty dude.
I'm sure they got this. I'm sure they got that.
Okay.
More maggot-filled
You're almost certain.
wounds.
How almost?
All right, and then we're gonna look at Mortarion. This is another guy that I'm very fond of. He was my first deathguard model, so I put a lot of work into him as well. Let's look at his wings.
Okay. I think. Okay, man.
And the armor has got all those
Popping out, obviously.
pits of corrosion on them. See those pink spots there? And we can look at his face there, and you can see his pupils and irises. And he's got cataracts, so I put like a thin layer of white over him in order to kind of blank him out again. But he looks pretty impressive. I'm very happy with my version. We saw a really exotic version a few games ago that I showed. So here's mine. They're little
Sorry, I thought
guys in his robes. They have that green to white fade around the back here. Look at all the flies and everything. The smokestacks putting out all the clouds, and they have little flies in them. You see that? Pretty nasty. All right, well, that's the army. Thanks for looking, everybody.